How do you feel going into the Hall? Tremendous honor for you.
Yeah, this is an unbelievable, surreal moment for me. Just thinking about where I came from, my story. If you were to ask me my first day if I was going to be inducted into this hall, you know, I don't think I would have said yeah. You know, there was just such a long road. But being drafted here and playing my whole career here, being surrounded by the people that were the best examples to be around if you wanted to stick around. You know, the Tom Brady's, the Kevin Falks early, the Teddy Bruschi's early, the Matthew Slaters, the Devin McCourty's. Those guys challenged me in ways and made me put myself into a mindset to be the guy not to want to disappoint anyone. That I think it was a blessing for me to come here.
How does it feel to have played your entire career in one city? Like, did you ever feel tempted to go to Tampa, play elsewhere? And like, when you reflect on it, just what does that mean to you?
I mean, I think it's amazing to get to play my career just in New England. Were there times where I thought I was going to leave? Yeah. But that's the business part of this sport. Your feelings get hurt when you're a young guy and they bring someone in and they don't give you the contract you want. Like, there's so many emotions that get built up with that whole process. That did I think I was going to play somewhere else? Yeah, but didn't want to. And thankfully I didn't. TB did hit me up after the Tampa thing. And, you know, he just kind of said, do you want me to try to get you down here? And you know, at that point in my career, I was content with being here. So it's a pretty amazing honor to get to play for one organization your whole career, because you don't really see that very often, you know, anymore.
Julian, I know that this can be a rewarding place to play, but it can also be a challenging market to play on. What advice would you give to players who are playing this market and might not be used to it?
Yeah, it's a real crowd. You'll get some boo birds if you're not playing the way you're supposed to. But if you are playing well and you do have success, there's no other fan base that you rather have around you, because that's what they expect. For the younger guys that are, like, we were so busy with what we were trying to do, there was a lot of outside noise, but because of the way we were coached and because of the leadership of the team, you didn't have time to really think about those kind of things. It was really a one-thing job: do your job. And if you did that, and the people recognized that.
With Tom Brady, were you able to you got in first year, you were eligible, were you kind of able to be like, well, like, did you hear from him at all and kind of be like, well, yeah, I know you got your thing, but like, come on, I got in first year too.
No, he did just a text and a phone call, like nothing like that. No.
You might have to bring it up at some point.
I might have to.
You got him
bring
on
it
Games
up.
with Names.
I know, we got to get him on Games with Names. We're still waiting on that callback.
Julian, you haven't necessarily had a textbook Hall of Fame career. If you could go back and talk to 20-year-old Julian Edelman, what piece of advice would you have given him?
The one thing I would say is enjoy it, because you get so caught up with trying to live the standard, play to the standard. I mean, we were in the National Football League, and there was countless times where we would win a game and it felt like we'd lost a game. And to have that mindset after watching this, you know, for a while and analyzing this on TV for a while, it's so hard to win in this league. So it's a double-edged sword for me. I would probably say, hey, try to enjoy this as much as possible, but like I couldn't do that. The happily miserable thing, that was a real mentality. Like, I had to be miserable in order for me to feel like I was not getting complacent. You know, I don't know. It's a terrible way of living. Terrible.
Did Bill help you feel miserable?
No, you know what? Not at all. I look back on my time with the media here, and I can't remember like any bad blood between any guys, and you guys were always pretty cool with me. I mean, I had Gronk and Tom, so I was always kind of third tier on that whole thing. So, you know, I always thought everyone was very very respectful in that manner, and I don't have a bad thing to say about any of that, or with the fans.
What's it like about Belichick?
Oh, coach? What do you mean? No, I have no bad blood with coach either. I love the coach. He gave me my opportunity.
He ran a tight ship.
Yeah, but I was used to that. That's what my dad ran, a tight ship. I was a tight ship kind of. I needed a tight ship. So, I enjoyed the hard coaching. Not always, but like if you ask anyone over 40 or over 33, 30, if they liked their football coach when they were a kid, I don't think anyone would say they liked their football coach. You loved your football coach. You respected your football coach. But I don't want to be running hills on week 18 when I'm 32 years old. I got a bad knee. But when we go and play in the Super Bowl, and we play in a 118-play game, and we outpower people at the end of that game, you sit there and you're like, oh, this guy knows what he's freaking doing. So, it's a tough love kind of business, and I enjoyed it.
Julian, tomorrow you'll give a speech.
Yeah.
How much have you thought about it? And without giving away what you're going to say, what do you want to get out of it? What's the message?
Well, you have to tune in tomorrow. But I think, football is an interesting game because it's the ultimate team sport. Nothing is done alone in this sport, and that's very similar to an athlete in his career. There's so many people that have huge parts of you getting to where you want to go, or you trying to get to where you want to go, that I think it's going to be just a time to sit back, reflect, and thank people that were a huge part of my journey.
Julian, initially, when you came here and they said, we don't want you to play quarterback, we want you to flip to receiver, did you think that was a good idea or crazy?
Well, after the first day I saw Tom throw the ball, I was like, damn, that's a great idea. No, but I knew I was going in that road. I knew I was going down that road. I knew I wasn't going to be a quarterback. I was just willing to do anything I could to make the team. It's funny. The Patriots worked me out. Usually during the pre-draft process, a team will come to your pro day. They'll work you out. They'll bring you in for a visit. And usually a team will come in and bring you in once and work you out once. Patriots worked me out twice. They brought in Ivan Fears. They brought in Scotty O'Brien. They brought in a bunch of guys in that pre-draft process. So I could tell that they were seeing what I could do. Because when Ives first worked me out, he was working me out as a running back. And, and I think he saw that I could get in and out of breaks because I've been working with, pro football, pro quarterback, Charlie Fry at the time. And so I ran routes. And then, then they sent out Scotty O, and he wanted to see if I could catch punts or if I could catch kickoffs. And so, I knew I was going to probably play a different position.
Does this place still feel like home to you?
Yeah, this place definitely feels like home. I mean, we just took the little golf cart ride over, and we drove by my little ball area where I used to do my tennis ball drills before, games and practice in the day, and you see the new buildings. They got rid of the driving range. You fly into Boston, and I go back to my spot in the back bay, and this feels more like home than anywhere I've lived in the last 5 years, including my hometown. Because no one lives in my hometown anymore.
Can we get your impressions on this year's team?
Impressions are, they definitely look like they improved from week 1 to week 2. I think it's going to be a long process. Rome wasn't built overnight. Like I just explained, it's very tough to win in this game. And I'm excited with where the offense is going. You look at their numbers last week compared to the week before. I mean, I think they were 7 for 13 or 12 on third down, 3 for 4 in the red area. So those are like the key things that I like to look at to see if a team's improving, and at least offensively. And it looks like they're doing that. If they continue to do that and worry about what's on their plate right now, each week, which Vrabel's the kind of guy that has that mentality, that mindset, I expect them to do good things. Now, making the playoffs, I don't know. But I don't think it's a bad year if they don't. You know, Mac Dre, or Mac Dre. Don't have to write my speech, Mac Dre's in so. Drake May, you know, he's looking a lot more comfortable to me. He's looking like he's processing. He's looking like he's throwing with his feet under him, which, you know, that's a big part of playing quarterback. It's not, you know, you got to also consider that he's going into the second system, second year, which is a completely different language. You know, those operational skills in a Josh McDaniels offense are completely different than what he did the year before, and there's probably more demanding for the quarterback. Getting the play calling, establishing the personnel, communicating the play, getting to the line of scrimmage, taking a pre-snap read of the front, the coverage, taking a post-snap, all while making sure all your guys are on set, and like that's a lot of work. And probably having 2 plays to try to get the best play in, you know, on the field. So as long as they continue to improve defense, you know, I think they're going to get better as the year goes. That's kind of always the rap with Raves defenses back, at least when they were Tennessee. They're always tough. So I'm excited for them.
Thank you, Julian. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys.